Nam Shrestam Anamapi Shachipurtam Patrasurupam Rupam Prasakacham Purim Maturim Bhushavajatush Radha Kunda Virivadam Aho Radhika Bharvasam Prato Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Guru Tam Anatosma Gurave Gaura Chandrai Radhikare Tadai Krishna Krishna Bhaktai Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Leelamaya Vikraham He Mabhadyavyacchavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Sampradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhakta Vihina Aparadha Lakshay Kirpasta Kamani Gaura Pavati Vita Mahita Sharanam Prabhana Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Vrinde Namaste Charanaravinda Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Hare Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Sam Sundar Shikanda Shekar Smaraha Smurli Manada Radhikar Sukumama Kripanidhe Supriya Charana King Konku Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tuyavana Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Nayamam Janatikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers, thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadeva Paramaradhatama, Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Parishta Om Vishnupad Ashtotarastasri, Rupanuga Charivar, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Finally, after Sri Krishna performed his beautiful, loving pastimes in this world, his Prakat Lila, his eternal pastimes will manifest before the eyes of the world. And then, when they became unmanifest, afterwards, Krishna was thinking to himself, Shokale Jagati More Kare Vidhi Bhakti Vidhi Bhakti Prajabhava Paiti Nahi Shakti. In the world, there are many persons worshipping me, but they worship me by following rules and regulations. That is called Vaidhi Bhakti. Yatra ragana vattatvat pravriti upajayate shashaneva vashastasya sa vaidhi bhakti uchyate. This is the definition. When one engages in hearing, chanting, remembering about Sri Krishna, but he does not have ruchi, he doesn't have a taste in the rag, the spontaneous love of Krishna's own eternal associates. He has not realized the nature of those associates and has not developed taste in their ragatmik paripati, the way in which, the methods by which they serve and please Sri Krishna. So his activities are not initiated or inspired by that taste, but rather his activities are initiated by an understanding of Shashaneva Shastasya, the discipline of the scripture, the orders of the scripture. You are the soul, so it is your duty to serve God. Otherwise you will rotate in the endless chain of birth and death. So you must serve God, and you should do it in this way according to these rules. So that bhakti is called Vaidhi Bhakti. And Krishna was thinking to himself, many persons in the world, they practice bhakti like this. But that type of practice, it does not have the power to awaken the loving feelings like my residents of Vrindavan. Aishwarya Ganati Sab Jagata Misrit Aishwarya Shitila Prema Nahi Mora Preet. If someone knows that I am Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, then their love becomes enfeebled. It becomes slack, it becomes weakened by that knowledge of my opulence. Why? Because God actually doesn't need anything. He's Atmaram, he's self-satisfied. He's not hungry, so you don't need to feed him. He's not tired, so you don't need to massage him. He's not hot, so you don't need to fan him. Really, actually, he's Atmaram, he's self-satisfied. He doesn't need anything. So as long as that idea is there, that Krishna is God, then one will not feel the intense and spontaneous urge to pamper him. But Krishna has that desire. Krishna has lalana icha. Lalana icha means, I want to be pampered by my devotees. Kaun kahte hai Bhagavan sote nahi. Kaun kahte hai Bhagavan sote nahi. Some people say that Bhagavan doesn't sleep. God doesn't sleep. Kaun kahte hai Bhagavan sote nahi. Ma Yashoda ki jaisi sulati nahi. Yes, God doesn't sleep for you because you don't tuck him in bed like his mother Yashoda does. Yeah, your God doesn't sleep. Mother Yashoda's Krishna sleeps. Why? Because he thinks he's my Lala. And he's been playing all day and now he's tired. I'll tuck him in bed and tell him a bedtime story. And then he's sleeping like a baby. You see? So it depends on our love. If we have knowledge, the awareness of Krishna's Aishwarya, his opulence, then the love becomes weak. And so Krishna nahi mora preet. Actually, this love, it pleases me to a certain degree, but it cannot control me. And Krishna's heart is not satisfied until he becomes completely controlled by the love of his devotee. So Krishna's thinking, oh, I'm satisfied by my mother's love. My mother says, oh Lala, you've not eaten enough, eat more. And then Krishna, oh, I don't want any more. She's very concerned that he may be losing weight. But I don't want any more. So then she comes up with a trick. And she takes his sikha, his choti, and holds it up and said, your choti has become very lean and thin. It is not so thick and strong like Balaram's sikha. Of course, Krishna can see Balaram. He can see his sikha, but Krishna cannot see his own sikha. He's just a baby, he cannot see his own sikha. So if you think that Krishna God, of course he can see it, he's all pervading and he's omniscient. He knows how fat his choti is. But for Mother Yashoda, he's just a child. And she takes his choti and said, it's so lean and thin. Your brother's sikha is so thick and long and strong. You should eat more butter. And then out of competition with his brother's children, they're always competing with each other, right? And so then Krishna's taking so much butter and eating. Then his mother's very satisfied. When he finished eating, he said, "Oh Maya, is my choti fat now?" So Krishna is saying, if you think I am God, then your love cannot, it pleases me, but does not control me. Love of my mother Yashoda pleases me. My cowherd friends, the cowherd boys, then they come to me and they say, "Oh Krishna, you cheated in this game. We're not going to play with you tomorrow. Who do you think you are? I know you're the son of Nanda Maharaj, but your father has 9 lakhs cows. My father has 11 lakhs cows. So what kind of big man are you? My father has more cows than your father." And the boys quarrel with him and tease him in this way. Krishna is very satisfied by this. Uvaha Krishna Bhagavan Sridamana Parajita. When Krishna is wrestling with Sridam, then sometimes he's defeated. Sridam defeats Krishna, and then he has to carry Sridam on his shoulders, because that's the bet. Whoever loses will have to carry the winner on their shoulders. So Krishna's walking through the forest carrying Sridam on his shoulders as the punishment for being the loser in the wrestling match. And Krishna's very happy to carry his friend on his shoulders. He's having so much fun. In a state of complete forgetfulness of Bhagavata. He doesn't, even Krishna, is not aware of his godhood. Because Krishna's nature is this, Yayatamam prapadyante tangstataiva vajamyaham. I reciprocate with everyone. So if a devotee comes in front of him and says, "You are God," then he remembers, "Oh, I'm God." But if a devotee comes in front of him, says, "Oh, my Saka, how are you doing? Let's go and play." Then, because he reciprocates with everyone, he has no idea that he's God. He's just Nanda Nandan, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Nandan, Subal Saka, the friend of Subal, Gopikanta, the lover of Braja Gopis. So Krishna is thinking in this way, oh, all this love, all this service which is done according to rules and regulations, it's not powerful, it does not satisfy me. I want that person should love me like my Brajabasis. Priya yadiman kare bhatsan, Vedastuti hoiti hari se moraman. If Brahma and Shiva and all the demigods are offering prayers to me, Sahasa Shisha Purusha Sahasraksa Sahasapati Sabhuman Vishvato Bratva Atyatista Dasangulam. Krishna is not impressed by all these Vedic mantras, but rather, if the gopis, Radhika and other gopis, not offering eloquent Vedic prayers, but they criticize him. "Hey, you dort, you're a rascal. You're a chor, you're a thief. You're a kapata shiromani, the crushed jewel of cheaters. You're a parastreet chor. You are the stealer of other men's wives. You are karalika naptri krida koranga. You're just like a play monkey on a chain, a pet monkey of Chandravati." Karalika Naptri means the granddaughter of Karalika. So Chandravati's grandmother's name Karalika. So then everyone knows each other in the village. So they don't want to say the name of So that granddaughter of Karalika, you're just like a pet monkey on her chain. And when the gopis criticized Krishna with these words, then if Brahma and Shiva and all the devatas are offering Vedic prayers, he cannot even hear those prayers. He hears the sweet nectar of their chastisement. Why? If they were glorifying him, that would mean that they have tatastha, they are neutral. Because the person with whom you don't have a deep relationship, you show so much respect. If there's some stranger in the street, you want to know the time. "Excuse me, sir, what time is it?" You're very polite. This type of criticism, it comes, and teasing and abuse, it comes when the love is very strong. And there's a confidence, this love cannot be broken. If I will criticize, then Krishna will laugh and think I'm just teasing him. So this is the nature of loving Braja. It's so pleasing to the heart of Krishna. And This is the type of love he wants from all the living entities in this world. So Krishna said, Chirakala nahi kare prema bhakti dan bhakti bhina jagatera nari avasthan. For a long, long time, I did not distribute this Braja Prem in the world, to the jivas in the material world. For a long time, I did not distribute this type of love. But Bhakti Bhina Jagatena Nahi Avasthan. Without this type of love, then the whole universe is useless. Understand? This is Krishna's opinion. The whole universe is useless without this spontaneous, natural, family type affection for him. You may think some things are important. You may have your list of priorities. But Krishna is saying, no, it's all useless. Only one thing is important. What is that? Prem, Prayojan, not me. Prem, Prayojan. That means Prem, love. This love of Vrindavan is the Prayojan, is the goal of our life. So for this, we should be ready to do anything. We should be ready to do anything. We should be ready to leave anything in order to attain this love. So Krishna thought, how can I distribute this love in the world? I came to this world and I gave the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. I told everyone, Sarva Dharman Prityaja Mamekam Shanam Braja. Abandon all worldly dharmas and just surrender to me. But who will listen to me? Why? Apini karimu bhakta bhava angikari, apini achari bhakti shikamu sabari. Apani na kaila dharma shikana nayai, eto siddhanta gita bhagavata gai. Unless someone practices a particular dharma, they cannot teach it to someone else. If you don't practice what you preach, then your instructions will not have any effect, they will not have any power. So Krishna realized, I told everyone, leave all worldly dharmas and surrender to me, but I didn't do it myself. Therefore, apani karimu bhakta bhava angikar, I will appear in the world again. Krishna just left when he left, then the Dwapara Yuga ended and the Kali Yuga began. But Krishna was thinking, oh, I have to go back. I have to again appear in this world. But apani karimu bhakta bhava angikari, I will accept the mood of a devotee this time, and I will teach everyone else how to practice the path of bhakti by my own example. So that incarnation of Krishna, we cannot say avatar. It is avatari. Avatar means the expansions of the Lord that come to this world. But avatari is the Supreme Lord who is the origin of all the expansions. So that avatari Krishna in this Kali Yuga, in the year 1486, on the full moon day, in the month of Falgun, Sri Krishna avatari appeared in this world in the mood of a devotee. And that is our Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai! So Krishna is very kind. And in this age of Kali, he appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us how to practice bhakti by his own example. So perhaps you know that after accepting the sannyas order, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to go to Vrindavan, but Nityananda, by a trick, took him around in a big circle and brought him back to Shantipur. And then Advaita Acharya told devotees, so bring Sachimata, bring his mother here on a palanquin. So they carried Sachimata on a palanquin and brought her to Shantipur. And then Sachimata saw her son Nimai, Vishwambar Mishra, for the first time, with his beautiful long curling hair shaved and dressed in saffron cloth. And she was crying so many tears, her eyes were overflowing. All the tears were coming so rapidly, each one was touching the previous one, like a string of pearls. So many tears were coming that she couldn't even see him. And she took him in her lap and embraced him. Mahaprabhu said, oh, I made a mistake. I became mad. I've given up my real duty in life, that is to serve you. Just give me the order and I will leave the sannyas order and come home. Sachimata said, no, what you have done. But don't go so far away. Don't go to Vrindavan, it's very far away. Go and stay in Jagannath Puri. Lord Jagannath is, Krishna is there in the form of Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. You should stay there because Navadvip and Puri are like two rooms in the same house. There are always pilgrims coming backwards and forwards. So from time to time, I'll receive news about you and what you are doing. And from time to time, sometimes you may come here to have darshan of your beloved Ganga Devi in Navadvip Dham. So Mahaprabhu agreed, and instead of going to Vrindavan, he left and he arrived in Jagannath Puri. And after staying a short time and then making a tour for a few years of South India, he returned to Puri, and with his team, he collected so many great Vaishnavas: Ramananda Rai, Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Sor Damodar Goswami, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He stayed in a place with many great Vaishnavas and relished Dine Nritya Kirtan, Ishwara Darshan, Ratri Swarupraisane, Rasa Aswadhan. In the daytime, he used to go to the Jagannath temple and sing and dance and have darshan of Lord Jagannath. And at night, in one small room in the house of Kashi Mishra Bhavan. Kashi Mishra was the guru of the king of Orissa, Prataparudra Maharaj. So there in Kashi Mishra Bhavan, there was a small room called the Gambira. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at night, he used to retire to that room, and only in the company of his very intimate associates, Swarup Damodar Goswami and Roy Ramananda, he used to sing and hear them sing and recite the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, the songs of Vidyapati and Chandidas, the Krishna Kahanamrita of Sri Bilvamangal Thakur, Ramananda Rai's own drama, Sri Jagannath Bala Natakam. And especially, he used to like to hear the songs of Gita Govinda of Sri Jayadeva Goswami. Swarup Damodar Goswami was a very expert singer. He could sing in so many ragas and inspire Mahaprabhu's mood. So the primary reason for Mahaprabhu appearing in this world was not only to teach others. His main reason was Krishna wanted to fulfill his own desire to discover how deep is the love of Radhika. What is the beauty in me that only she sees through the eyes of her love? And what is that is the sweetness in me that only she can see? And what is the happiness she feels when she relishes my sweetness through the depth of her praying? This desire came in the heart of Krishna during Krishna Lila, but it was never fulfilled. And so he appeared as Gauranga Mahaprabhu to fulfill that desire. And that desire was fulfilled in the Gambira, in the company of Swarup Damodar and Roy Ramananda. So Swarup Damodar Goswami is actually the incarnation of Lalita Sakhi. And Ramananda Rai is the incarnation of Vishakha Sakhi. So because Radhika always stays in Vrindavan with Lalita and Vishakha, now because Krishna wants to experience what it's like to be Srimati Radhika, he needs the assistance of Lalita and Vishakha. So they've come in the form of Swarup Damodar and Roy Ramananda to console him when he's realizing Radhika's separation, just as Lalita and Vishakha used to try to console Srimati Radhika when she was weeping in separation from Sri Krishna. So Radhikar Bhavajai Che Uddhava Darshan Sei Bhavam Mata Prabhu Uddhava Darshane Sei Bhava Mata Prabhu Rahira Tridine. Just as when Uddhav came from Mathura, sent by Krishna from Mathura to Vrindavan, and saw Srimati Radhika in the madness of love, she was even talking to a bumblebee and quarreling with a bumblebee, thinking the bumblebee was a messenger from Krishna. So just as Radhika was in the madness of love at that time, So in the same way, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu was in the madness of love, in the Gambhira, in Jagannath Puri. So at night, Gauranga Mahaprabhu used to relish the verses of Brahmar Geet in Srimad Bhagavatam and the separation moods of Srimati Radhika, which are expressed in Gita Govinda. And when the night, so many hours of the night had passed, then Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, they thought, oh, now he'll be very fatigued, he should rest. And they would make him lie down to sleep, and then they would leave, and they would close the doors of the Gambhira. And then they would go. And Mahaprabhu had a servant named Govinda, and he would sit outside, and he could hear the whole night. Mahaprabhu was loudly chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kaha mora prano nato, murali bhavata. Kaha karo kampa, Rajendra Nanda. Kahara kohi boke pa, jani mora dukha. Rajendra Nanda binu bhate mora bukha. Crying just as Radhika would cry when Krishna left Vrindavan. Kaha mora pranana, where is the Lord of my heart, of my pran? The son of Nanda Maharaj, who plays the flute. Where can I go and what can I do to find him? To whom can I speak and who can understand the extent of my disappointments? Without the son of Nanda Maharaj, my heart is breaking. After some time, Govinda, he called Swarup Damodar Goswami, come. Mahaprabhu is not sleeping. And they opened the door and they looked inside. And the face of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was covered in scratches. His nose, his mouth, his cheeks were scratched. Swarup Damodar Goswami said, what have you done to yourself? Mahaprabhu said, I was looking for Krishna. And I was trying to get out. I was trying to find him. So in the madness of love, Mahaprabhu was trying to get out from the Gambhira. But he could not find the door. There were 3 doors. One he would lock from the inside and 2 from the outside. And he was rubbing his face against the walls. And this is how he became injured. Why? Because he's having the pastime of being in the high state of bhav, in the madness of love for Shri Krishna. Dibyanmad, Chitra Jalpa, Udgirna. So Swarup Damodar Goswami came up with an idea. He bought a devotee named Shankar Pandit. And he said, Mahaprabhu, please give us permission that at night when you rest, Shankar Pandit will stay inside the room with you and he'll massage your feet as you go to sleep. So Mahaprabhu agreed. And so after that, after relishing the beautiful pastimes of Krishna with Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, when they would leave in the evening, Shankar Pandit would come and Mahaprabhu would lie down to rest. And Shankar Pandit would take the feet of Mahaprabhu in his lap and massage his feet. So he became known as Prabhupada Upadana. That means, just as Vidura is famous as being the cushion, the foot cushion of Krishna. So Shankar Pandit became Prabhupada Upadana. That means the foot cushion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when the night was, many hours had passed, and Mahaprabhu was about to rest, he would lie down, and Shankar Pandit would take Mahaprabhu's feet in his lap and massage his feet. And then Mahaprabhu, he was a little aware that someone was there with him, so he would not become so mad that he would rub his face on the walls. So Shankar Pandit, he would be massaging, and it would become very late in the night, and inevitably he would himself fall asleep. But Mahaprabhu would still be awake, and Mahaprabhu would take his own uttariya, his own cloth, and he would place his own cloth, like a quilt, over the top of Shankar Pandit while he was sleeping. And then Shankar Pandit would suddenly wake up and realize what happened and give Mahaprabhu's cloth back and then continue his seva. So such sweet pastimes were going on in the Gambhira. And Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pal says, Snana darashana bhojan deha swabhabhoy kumarera chakayena satata pirai. The meaning is that just as a potter, has a stone wheel and he makes the wheel spin, and once it's spinning, his hands are free and it's turning by itself, by momentum. And now his hands are free to make his pot. So in the same way, Mahaprabhu's life, Snan, going to the ocean to take bath, Darshan, leaving the Gambhira and going to the Jagannath temple, Bhojan, coming back and then honoring Mahaprasad, all the external activities of his life were going on automatically, just like a potter's wheel is spinning around. And inside, he was completely free and absorbed in relishing the pastimes of Sri Krishna from the point of view of Radhika, sometimes from the point of view of Radhika Sakhis, sometimes from the point of view of her Manjaris, even. So in this way, Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Leela was going on in Puri. One day we'll have to do bhajan like this, be so absorbed always in chanting the holy name, without any false ego at all, that our rising, bathing, eating and going here and there is just going on automatically. And inside, always serving Radha and Krishna. So the Uttam Bhagavat, Vaishnavas, they're already like this. It may appear that they're going here and there and preaching and doing so many things, but actually everything is going on just by the Kripa Shakti of the Supreme Lord. And inwardly, they are constantly Nikunjayuno Radhike Siddhaya Yaya Bhidukira Pekshaniya Takrati Daksha Ativalabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. Vaishnava Kriyamutra Vigna Nabhujai. Even great learned persons, they cannot understand the behavior and activities of the very high level Mahabhagavad liberated Vaishnavas. So Mahaprabhu is performing a pastime, showing the world the path of devotional service from the very beginning when he received the initiation, his Harinam, Sankirtan and so on, and now his relishment of rasa in the association of the Rasic Vaishnavas, his associates in Jagannath Puri. So he's showing us what is the optimum life, how to live the life of pure bhakti. So one day, Mahaprabhu and his associates, they were walking through gardens on the shore of the ocean in Jagannath Puri. Rupa Goswami Pad was there. He saw it with his own eyes and wrote a poem about it. He said, Payura says Tires Purad Upavanali Kalanaya Moho Brindananyam Smarana Janita Prema Vivasha Kwachit Krishna Vriti Rachana Rasana Bhakti Rasika Sachitanya Kimme Puna Apidrishur Yashati Padam. Oh, when will that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again walk onto the pathway of my eyes? Rupa Goswami was in Vrindavan when he wrote this, and he was remembering what it was like to live in Jagannath Puri with Mahaprabhu. So he's praying, when again will I see? He's not saying see, when will I see? When will Mahaprabhu walk onto the path of my eyes? One day, Payora says Thiri, on the bank of the ocean, on the shore of the ocean in Jagannath Puri. Payora says Thiri, Spurad, Upavanali, there were upavan, like small gardens, small forest gardens, lining the shore of the ocean in Jagannath Puri, and they're so effulgent. Moho Brindaranya Smarana Janita Prema Vivasha. And when Mahaprabhu saw them, he became bewildered and thought, I'm in Vrindavan. This is his nature. Bani dek Brahma hoy e Vrindavan, Shaila deki Brahma hoy e Govardhan. Yahanari deki taha mone kolindi, Mahaprema veshi, nachi pari prabhu kande. He said if Mahaprabhu would see a forest, he would think, this is Vrindavan. If he would see a hill, he would become bewildered and think, I came to Giriraj Govardhan. If he would see a river, or even the ocean, he would sometimes mistake the ocean for Kalindi, for Jamuna. And he would dance and fall to the ground and weep. So on that day, Mahaprabhu, Muhu Brindaranyam Smarana Janita Prema Vivashana. Again and again he remembered Vrindavan and he became Prema Vivash, overwhelmed, out of control by the influence of Prem. Kvachit Krishna Vriti Rasana Bhakti Rasana Rasika. His tongue was very eager to relish the rasa of Krishna's name, and the name of Krishna was coming from his mouth spontaneously. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare. Oh, when will I see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again? So at that time, Mahaprabhu entered into the garden and he saw all the beautiful trees with their flowering creepers, with their many different types of bushes and many different types of birds singing and talking with each other. And he became absorbed in the mood of, not at this time the mood of Radhika, but the mood of the Sakhis of Radhika. And he felt as if, oh, we came to the Rasa Leela to dance with Krishna. But somehow or other, Krishna has suddenly disappeared. And when Krishna disappeared from the Rasa Leela, then all the Braj Gopis became so overwhelmed with separation, they became mad. And they were talking to the trees, they were talking to the flowers. They were talking to the Tulsi, even. Because it is, there's a famous poem by Kalidas called Meghdut. Meghdut by Kalidas. It's one of the most famous poems in India. So there he says, Kamata hi prakriti kripanas chaitana chaitaneshu. It means it's the nature of someone who is overwhelmed with calm, amorous desire, that they become quite mad. And they think that things which are unconscious and unintelligent are actually conscious and intelligent. So the fact that the Braj Gopis are talking to trees and plants is actually, it indicates the intensity of their calm, their great desire to please Sri Krishna with loving pastimes, but now they've lost him. So Mahaprabhu began to sing verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, completely absorbed in the mood of a gopi, a Sakhi of Radhika, searching for Krishna. Chuta pravala panasan asana kovidara dara jamvarka bilva bakalambra kadamba nipa yen ye parata bhavakaya manopakula sangshantu Krishna padavimbra hitatmanamna. Gopis are saying, O Chuta tree, O Priyala tree, O Asana tree, O Kovidara tree, O Jambu tree, rose apple tree. Oh, Arka. Arka is a very small and insignificant plant with no fragrance and no fruits. Or flowers even. So it shows they're so humble, they're even speaking to the insignificant Arka plant. Jambarka, Bilva. Oh, Bilva tree. Bakula tree. Amra. Oh, mango tree. Kadamba. Oh, Kadamba tree. And Nipa. Nipa is a type of a small Kadamba tree with small flowers similar to Kadamba. In this way, Gopis are approaching all the different types of trees and asking them, Oh, yen ye parat bhavata yamano pakula. Trees, you are most respectable. Why? Because first of all, you are Brijvasis. You live in a holy place. Not like us, we can be in Vrindavan, but then we leave and go somewhere else. But trees, they're fixed. They're not leaving. So you are like sadhus because you are living permanently in this holy place. And trees are very famous for being generous and giving to others. Trees live for the benefit of others. They give their fruits to others. Trees don't eat their own fruit. Right? They produce all the fruit and flowers and give to others. And they give shade to others as well. So, oh trees, you're all sadhus. You're all kind-hearted. You're all merciful. So, sangshantu Krishna padavim. Right, Atmanamna, please tell us where Krishna is, because we're not so tall like you. You trees are so tall, so you can see a long distance. From up there, can you see where Krishna has gone? Please tell us where he is. Why? Because Right Atmanamna, that Krishna, by his flute, by his smile, by his glance, he stole our minds. And now we are senseless. We are crazy. Because he stole our minds, he stole our intelligence, everything. Cannot live without him. Please tell us. And what did the trees say in reply? Nothing. So then the gopis, they thought to each other, they were thinking, they thought to themselves that these trees, they're like Krishna's sakas, Krishna's friends. Because Krishna climbs on the branches, just like climbing on the shoulders of a friend. So they're male, vriksha. So trees are male. How can a male person understand the heart of a woman? It's not possible. And anyway, they're on Krishna's side. So if Krishna has left us and Krishna's gone to hide, they're not going to tell us, oh well, Krishna's hiding over there. Because they're on his side. They're his friends. This is why the trees are not giving answer. The gopis are not thinking that the trees can't answer because they don't have mouths. Remember? Why? Karmata hi prakriti kripanas chaitana chaitaneshu. It's the nature of a person who is inflicted with intense desire that they become bewildered and think those things which are unconscious are conscious and intelligent. So then the gopis kept walking, and then they saw Tulsi. She was there. You can check with her and verify everything I'm saying. So Mahaprabhu doesn't know he's in a garden in Jagannath Puri. He's completely lost. He's totally absorbed thinking, I'm a gopi and Krishna has abandoned me in the forest at night and I'm searching for him. So the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are spontaneously coming from his heart. And Mahaprabhu, just as gopis, they approached Tulsi and said, Kachit tulasi kalyani govinda charna priye saha twali kula bibrat drishtaste ti priyochuta. Oh, Tulasi Kalyani, oh Tulsi, you are so fortunate. You are so auspicious. Govinda Charna Priye, you are very dear to the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. Sahatwali Kula Bibrat. Krishna is always wearing you. Sometimes Krishna wears a garland of Tulsi flowers. Sometimes Krishna has Tulsi on his feet that has been offered by his devotees. So they said, oh, you are always with Krishna, and the bumblebees are following Krishna because they're attracted by your fragrance. Oh, you who are Atipriya, extremely dear to Krishna, please tell us, have you seen him? Did you see Krishna? And when Mahaprabhu spoke to Tulsi in this way, thinking I'm a gopi in Vrindavan, talking to Tulsi, then you know what Tulsi said? Nothing. So then the gopis are thinking, oh, what does Tulsi know about separation? Tulsi is always on his chest, always on his feet. Tulsi is always with Krishna. So how can she understand our pain of separation? This is why she's not answering. So then the gopis went further into the forest. And as they came further into the forest, one gopi saw there was a deer. A female deer, a doe. And the doe's eyes are so big, you know. Even the gopis are called doe-eyed, the doe-eyed gopis. So their eyes are so big and beautiful. And also, because they eat so many things in the forest, they munch on things in the forest, it makes them intoxicated. So they're big, intoxicated eyes. And they're always a bit paranoid, right? And it's flat sound, it's run away. So the gopis are coming through the forest, and they saw one deer, one doe, with big, beautiful eyes. And the pupils of the eyes of that doe were so dilated, it was like she was completely intoxicated. And the gopi said, Apyena paktya bhagata priya eva gatrais Tanvandrasham Sakisunevrita Aptyatova Kandanga Sanga Kucha Kunkuma Ranjitaya Kundasraje Kulapate Apivati Ganda. Another verse of Srimad Bhagavatam manifested in the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Apena Patya Pagata. Oh dear, oh female dove. That means your husband is the male deer. But you are like us, just as we leave our husbands and we go to meet with Krishna, you also leave your husband and you go to meet with Krishna. So you're like our Saki. Oh Saki, oh dove, I see that your eyes are full of bliss, intoxicated with bliss. It must be that apena patpagata priya eva gatres, that you have seen Krishna walking this way along with his Priya. So here Priya actually means Radha, the name of Radhika. It is hidden in Srimad Bhagavatam. You must have seen Krishna and Radhika walking this way. Otherwise, how is it possible that your eyes are in such ecstasy? You see, the gopis are projecting their own mood. It is the manjaris, the maidservants, who are singing this verse. Why? Because the greatest bliss of their life is to see Radha and Krishna meeting together, and then the eyes become big. And so because Sarva Bhuteshu Ya Pasyat Bhagavat Bhamo Atmana Bhutani Bhagavat Atman Esha Bhagavatottama. It's the nature of the Mahabhagavat that they see their own, they feel I have no love, but they see their own love in everyone else. And so the maidservants of Radhika, who are always feel the greatest joy and intoxication when by their eyes they drink the beauty of the meeting of Radha and Krishna, when they see the deer with big beautiful eyes, they think, aha, we know why your eyes look like that. Yeah, we know why your eyes look like that. You must have seen Krishna along with his dear one walking through the forest here. And so then the deer looked towards them, and then looked towards the forest, and looked towards the gopis. And then again, and then quickly the deer jumped and disappeared into the undergrowth of the forest. So then one Saki said to her friend, oh Saki, look, this deer is telling us where to, by looking like this, the deer was telling us the direction in which to go. That Krishna must be nearby, but the deer doesn't want to reveal that she was the one who revealed his hiding place. So she just gave us some hints by her eyes and then disappeared. And so as the gopis moved forward into that space where the deer was standing, Kandanga Sanga Kucha Kunkuma Ranjitaya Kundastraja Kulapate Apivati Ganda. As they stepped forward into that space where the deer had just jumped from, one Saki said, oh, just see. Kandanga Sanga Kucha Kunkuma Ranjitaya. I can smell something on the breeze coming from that direction. What is that? I can smell the fragrance of the kumkum. Kumkum is the very fragrant powdered cosmetic that the gopis smear on the upper portion of their chest. I can smell the fragrance of a kumkum from the chest of Krishna's beloved, and kundasraja. Kundasraja means Krishna was wearing a garland of white jasmine kunda flowers, the type of jasmine, and I can smell that also. In other words, on the breeze, I smell the mixture of Krishna's garland and the cosmetic from the breast of Radhika. That means that when Radha Krishna embraced, then the cosmetic from her chest was rubbed and mixed with the fragrance of his garland. And so as the maidservants of Radha and Krishna smell the fragrance of Krishna's garland, they have a spurti in their hearts of Krishna himself. Because that's the nature of the transcendental substances. Lokotara padathanam prabhavaha kopyanagala ratim tad vishayam chaso basate turnam ekada. Rupa Goswami said that any transcendental substance, like Krishna's garland, anything offered to Krishna, Krishna's prasad, Krishna's charanamrita, it has anagala prabhav, unlimited, inconceivable power to do two things. As soon as you touch the lokottara padartha, the substances which are not of this world, which are Krishna's prasad, then two things happen immediately and at the same time. It causes the manifestation of love, rati, ratim, tadvishaya, and also the manifestation of the object of love as well, Krishna. So just by smelling the fragrance of Krishna's garland on the breeze, as they walked into that space that had just been vacated by that doe who was leading them to Krishna's hiding place, so they thought. As soon as they smelt the fragrance of Krishna's garland, then their love was intensified, and in their heart they had a spurti of Krishna. And when they smelt on the breeze the fragrance of the cosmetic from the chest of Radhika, then their love for Radhika and the spurti, the vision of Radhika, manifest in their heart. And when they smelt the mixture of the two fragrances together, then in their hearts they had the spurti of Radha Krishna embracing. The verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are so astonishing and beautiful. What I'm explaining is not there directly, that is because this is kavya. Kavya means the poet never says what he wants to say, he says something else, and what he wants to say is in the suggestion, the dhvani. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the kavya. And so the actual meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam is not the words. The meaning is in the dhvani, the suggestion of the word. And gopis are always like that. They always speak in a covered way. Raso gupta eva rasatvam apadyate. When rasa is hidden, then it becomes most relishable. So those gopis, they're searching for Radha and Krishna. Talking to the flowers, talking to the trees, talking to the deer in the forest. And Mahaprabhu himself was wandering through the garden, and he was uttering these verses and experiencing what it's like to be a gopi on the trail of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan when they had disappeared from the Rasa Leela. And as Mahaprabhu moved through the garden, then suddenly Tasamavira Putshori Smayamana Mukambaja Pitambaradara Shradvi Sakshan Manmata Manmata. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Krishna standing there. So beautiful. His complexion like a fresh rain cloud. His pitambar like a flash of lightning. His peacock feather like with all the colors of the rainbow. And those colors of the rainbow are reflected in his Vaijayanti Mala, in his garland of so many flowers that Radhika had given to him. And just as a chakora bird cannot live without the water from the rain cloud, the chatak bird. The chatak bird only drinks water that comes directly from the cloud. Otherwise he will die of thirst. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Krishna, he ran towards Krishna, but Krishna disappeared. And then Mahaprabhu fainted, he fell unconscious. All the devotees were following him through the garden, and they began to chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, and by the power of the holy name, Mahaprabhu came from the Antardasha, that is his internal state, not fully into external consciousness, but Ardha Bahya Dasha, half internal, half external. That means he's interacting with the outer world, but not exactly seeing it. He's still seeing the inner world. So it's a two visions. That's called a half internal, a half external consciousness. Mahaprabhu would sometimes be in Bahya Dasha, external consciousness, interacting with the world. Sometimes Antardasha, interacting with the spiritual world. And as he would move from one state to another, in the halfway mark, Ardha Bahya Dasha, half internal, half external. And that's when he would speak like a mad person, because his words were coming out in this world, but his life was still connected to his internal spiritual experience. So Mahaprabhu, when he started to come to accept his senses, he said, my eyes are like chataka birds, and Krishna is like a rain cloud. And now suddenly a typhoon came and blew away that rain cloud, Sri Krishna. And now my eyes are dying of thirst like poor chatak birds without any drops of water. These are the pastimes of Chaitanya. So beautiful. So then Mahaprabhu told Swarup Damodar, in order to save his life, please save my life. Save my life. Sing a song. And when Mahaprabhu requested Swarup Damodar to save his life by singing a song, then Swarup Damodar Goswami began to sing Gita Govinda. Now we're coming to the subject because we just watched the dance from Gita Govinda, so I was so inspired by this. This is the introduction to this subject. So then Swarup Damodar Goswami began to sing. Smrati mano mama krita parihasam harim hiya bhita vilasam rase harim hiya bhita vilasam. Mahaprabhu said, sing again. The same verse. Smrati mano mama krita parihasam harimiyam bhita vilasam rase harimiyam bhita vilasam. Sing again. Swarup Damodar sang. And for hours Swarup Damodar Goswami was singing the same line over and over again. But he's very expert in Drupad singing. You know Drupad? In Drupad singing, you sing a part of a line, and then you go back and you sing it again. And each time you sing it a little bit differently. And after you've relished those few words a few times, then you sing it again, but you go a few syllables further along the line and you come back again. And then you sing it again in a different way. And come back, and then go a little bit further. Like this. So Swarup Damodar Goswami is very expert in this Drupad style of singing. It was very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu was relishing the same line again and again, and he was drowning in bhav. What bhav was he drowning in? There's some context to this song. Very beautiful context. This song comes in Gita Govinda, and the song that you heard and saw the dance to is just the song before that. So this song is the context for the song that Swarup Damodar Goswami was singing. And the song before that is the context for that. So I don't know where to start. Okay, let's go back. We'll go back 2 songs. What happened? Gita Govinda is so beautiful. It can be interpreted in so many ways. There are basically 3 characters in Gita Govinda: Krishna, Radhika, and one Sakhi. It is the Vasant Ras, that is the springtime Rasalila, taking place at Chandra Sarovar. Who remembers Chandra Sarovar? We went there this year on Parikrama. Yeah. Everyone, please come. Please come to Brajmandal Parikrama during the month of Kartik and visit these places and hear these kirtans in these places. So the Rasalila was taking place in Chandra Sarovar. It had begun, Krishna had begun the Rasalila with so many gopis, but Radhika had not arrived yet. So Radhika, she set off. Now, this is the general story that you can pick up from Gita Govinda. When Radhika arrives and sees Krishna that started the Rasalila without her, she becomes upset and she leaves. And she sits down in a kunj and starts crying. Oh, why did he start the Rasalila without me? He did not show me any special partiality or anything. And Krishna's searching for Radhika and he can't find her. And he sits down in a kunj and he's crying. And there's one Sakhi, and this Sakhi is going backwards and forwards from Krishna to Radhika and Radhika to Krishna and describing their love to each other and carrying messages and trying to arrange for them to meet. And at the end of Gita Govinda they meet, and it's very beautiful. But in Gita Govinda, the identity of that Sakhi is not given. It does not say. Her name is not mentioned. And there's some reasons for this. We know from the mood of the Sakhi, Rupa Goswami, Vishnu Thakur and others have identified by her mood, because she cannot tolerate Radhika's anger. So she chastises Radhika for being angry. So Lalita wouldn't do that. Lalita would say, yes, be more angry. But there's a certain type of Sakhi, they're called Dakshina Sakhi, and they can't tolerate female anger. So because this Sakhi cannot tolerate female anger, then we know that this is actually Tonga Vidya. Among the Astasakis, this Saki is Tungavitya. But one of the reasons that Jayadeva Goswami did not give the name of the Saki is because the devotee who's advanced in spiritual life can take shelter of Gita Govinda, and in his bhav he can think that this Saki is my Gurudev. You see? How is Gita Govinda is a poem, but how does a practicing devotee in this world use this poem or utilize this poem in his own spiritual life? So the devotee is chanting deeply and going into trance. He may sing the verses or the songs spoken by that Saki and think it's my own Guru in his gopi form, her gopi form. And then enter into the Leela under the guidance of Guru through the songs of the Saki in Gita Govinda. This is Bhajan Chaturya, the skill of Bhajan. These things, no one, without a Guru, without Bhajan Shiksha, no one can know these things. So, Gita Govinda can be interpreted in so many ways. So, there was one famous Vaishnava. He was a disciple in the line of Kavi Karnapur. His name was Pujari Goswami or Chaitanya Das. He wrote a commentary on Gita Govinda and he gave a context, such an astonishing context. He said that actually the context of Gita Govinda is this. It's not mentioned directly, but Krishna has left Vrindavan and he's gone to Mathura. And Radharani is wandering through the forests. Vasante vasanti kushumasu kumarya. She's wandering through the forest, but she's in such a madness of love that she's forgotten that Krishna's left Vrindavan and she's searching for him. So when she meets with Krishna, actually Krishna's in Mathura, she's actually in the madness of love having a spurti. It's a vision of Krishna due to the intensity of separation. Because when separation becomes very, very intense, it's experienced as meeting. My Gurudev used to give the example that when he was young, he went with his Guru on a pilgrimage up very high in the Himalayas to Badrinath, Gangotri and Yamunotri. And there, the air pressure is very low. So the water is extremely cold, colder than freezing, but doesn't freeze because the air pressure is so low. So it's not freezing. So he said, when I went to the Ganga and I put my hand in the water, it was so cold, it burnt me. It felt as if it burnt. So Prem, love in separation is like that. Separation becomes so intense that it feels like meeting. And there's an experience of meeting. So as Radhika is wandering through the forest, she's wandering with the Saki. And the Saki is describing the beauty of Vrindavan to Radhika. And she says, Lalita Labanga Lata Parishilana Komala Malaya Samihire Madhukarnikara Karambita Kokila Kujita Kunja Kutire Viharati Hariya Sarasavasante Viharati Hariya Sarasavasante Nritati Yuvati Chanena Samam Saki Bihari Janasya Durante Lalita Labanga Lata Parishilana Komalamalaya Samire. Oh, in Chaitanya Charitamrita you also see in Antilila chapter 19, Sri Damodar Goswami singing this to Mahaprabhu. We're discussing now Antilila chapter 15, but in chapter 19, he's singing that song. So, just this is the context to where we're going. The Saki is saying, oh look, in this spring season, beautiful breeze is coming from South India. In the south, they are the Malaya hills. And in the Malaya hills, there are chandan, sandalwood trees. And so those trees in the Malaya hills are so famous for chandan. The word chandan and Malaya have become synonymous with each other. Malaya chandan or Malayaja. And so the breeze is coming from the south. Why? Because in the trees in the Malaya hills, snakes live. and the snakes hiss. And when they hiss, some poison comes out. And so the breeze in the Malaya mountains is burning from that poison. So it's rushing towards the north to the Himalayas to get relief from in the coolness of the Ganges in the Himalayas, to get relief from the burning poison of the snakes and so that breeze is passing through Vrindavan. From the south, it's passing through Vrindavan on the way to the Himalayas. And when this breeze, this beautiful fresh breeze, which is also fragrant with sandalwood, it enters into the forest of Vrindavan, then all the creepers begin to dance. And so the breeze is like a hero, and the latters, they're like heroines. And just as a hero meets with his heroine and they become so ecstatic and the heroine begins to dance, so there is a beautiful meeting of the breeze with the creepers, Lalita Labanga Lata. That means the, what do you say in English? Labanga Lata. What's that? Clove, yes, clove. Clove creepers. The clove creepers are like a heroine dancing in ecstasy because she's meeting with her beloved. Kujita kunja kutire. And the cuckoo birds in the springtime, they see that the manjaris on the mango trees are blossoming. And when the cuckoos, they love the mango manjaris, amar manjari. And when they eat them, then their voices become very sweet and the cuckoos begin to sing. Ali kula sankula kushama samuha. And the bumblebees are meeting with the flowers. And they become in ecstasy, tasting the nectar of the flowers, and the bumblebees are singing. So, Virahi janasya durante, O Radhika. For a heroine who's separated from her beloved, this forest in Vrindavan in the spring is intolerable. How can a heroine who's separated from Krishna tolerate? Because all around her, she's seeing that all lovers are meeting with their beloveds. The breeze is meeting with the labangalatas, the bumblebees are meeting with the flowers, and the cuckoo birds are meeting with the amra manjaris. And the creepers are embracing the trees. The trees are like the husband of the creepers, and they're embracing their beloveds. So it looks like everywhere, all beloveds are meeting with their lovers, and only we are alone and we don't know where Krishna is. How can we tolerate it? So this is example of Prem. Sarva bhuteshu ya pasyat bhavam atmana. When someone has love, they see their own mood in everyone else. And so because they have the female heroine mood and they're looking for Krishna, they're seeing everything. It's like a heroine meeting with their beloved. They're seeing their own mood everywhere in nature. How astonishing is this poetry? And as they're walking through the forest like this, desperate to find Krishna, then suddenly the Sakhi notices, there he is, look. And she says to Radhika, look, now this is actually only the meeting of Krishna due to the intensity of separation. It's a spurti, a bahya spurti, external manifestation of Krishna. And the Sakhi said, and then we have this song that was just performed now. Chandana chati chita Neelakalevara. Oh, you know that Lord Jagannath at night, they perform Geet Govinda for him every evening. And then when they close everything and he takes rest, the pujaris wrap him in silk cloth called kandua. And on the kandua, this song is written. So Lord Jagannath sleeps every night in a silk cloth with this song on it. So you can imagine how dear this song is to Krishna. So the Sakhi is telling to Radhika, look, Chandana Charchita Neelakalevara Pita Vasana Panamali Keli Chalanmani Kundalamandita Ganda Yuga Smita Shali Harirya Mugda Baduni Kare Vilasini Vilasati Keheli Pale Harirya Mugda Baduni Kare. Look, Sakhi, there's Krishna. Chandana Charchita Neela Kalevar. His body, which is like a blue sapphire, shining like a blue sapphire, is smeared with fragrant chandan, sandalwood paste. Pita Basana, his golden cloth is like a flash of lightning. Banamahali, and he's wearing a long garland, Banamala. That means a long garland with flowers and also leaves, reaching down to his feet. Very long, beautiful garland. Keli Chalan Mani, and as he's moving, his earrings are swinging. Kundalamani, Ganda Yuga Smita Shali, and he's smiling because he's in so much bliss, dancing with gopis in the Rasalila. And when he smiles, his cheeks puff out, and the earrings are reflected, they cast reflections on his cheeks, and he looks so beautiful. Then the Sakhi said, look over there. Krishna is with one gopi who's very voluptuous. She's very curvaceous. And she says, look, that curvaceous gopi is tightly embracing Sri Krishna. There's an inner meaning. The inner meaning to this is, oh Sakhi, don't worry. That she's embracing him, that means this is not a mutual embrace. Understand? That she's embracing him, but he is not embracing her back. Why? Because he's only thinking about you. This is the inner meaning of this verse. So they say, oh, look over there. You see, because in the Rasalila, Krishna manifests. He's here, he's there, he's there, he's there. So the Sakhi is pointing to Krishna. He's all over the place in the forest at springtime. And in each place, he's performing a different pastime with a different gopi. She said, look Sakhi, Krishna's over there. One gopi, on the pretext of whispering a secret message in his ear, she gave me a kiss on the cheek. She said, I want to tell you something. She said, tell me. No, it's a secret. Oh, and then Krishna leaned down like this, and then she kissed him on the cheek. Then that Sakhi said, oh Radhika, look over there. In this place, there was one gopi, and she grabbed Krishna by the pitambar, and she's pulling him inside a beautiful kunja of flowers. Why? Because she was talking to him, and she was watching his eyes and noticing that he was kind of looking over her shoulder at someone else. So she became upset and quickly grabbed him by the collar and pulled him away. That heroine is called Adhir Naika, the impetuous, unsteady heroine. In another place, she's, oh look Sakhi, look what Krishna's doing over there. Krishna's playing on his flute, such a nectarian melody and nectarian rag. And one gopi who's very expert in rag and tal, she's clapping her hands according to the rhythm. Tai ta tai tai ta tai tai tai, drimiki drimiki triki 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 tak bo patam bo, like this. According to, we just saw in the dancing, okay, you could hear the singer. He was saying all the tals of the dance. So in this way, Krishna was singing, and that gopi was clapping according to the tal in a very expert way. And because she was wearing balai, she was wearing very beautiful jeweled bangles. Balai in Sanskrit. The jeweled bangles. Sometimes I forget English. So she's wearing bracelets. She's wearing so many jeweled bracelets. And because she's clapping very expertly according to the tal of Krishna's flute song, the bracelets are tinkling together, and it makes a very sweet sound. And Krishna is so impressed by her musical skill that he stops playing the flute and says, sadhu, 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 well done, bravo. So then she said, oh look, over there. In another place, one gopi was in a huff, and she sat down and she was looking the other way. And Krishna was kneeling down close to her and speaking so many flattering words to try to get her to become favorable, anukul, to him again. And so what's going on here? First of all, Radhika and the Sakhi are both having a spurti of Krishna everywhere due to the intensity of their separation. And they're seeing the Rasalila as they have seen before the Rasalila going on. And Srila Rupa Goswami Pad in Ujjwala Nilamani describes 360 different types of heroines. The females have so many different, very variegated moods, but Radhika is the embodiment of all. Radhika has all moods, because all the gopis are her expansions. Each one of the moods of Radhika has taken a murti, a form, and those are the other gopis. So Krishna himself, also as a hero, Rupa Goswami describes 96 heroic moods in Krishna. So here, in each place, in some place, Krishna is the Shat Nayak. Some place is Anukul Nayak. Some place is Dakshin Nayak. Some place is Drishta Nayak. So the various different types of hero, Krishna is all of these heroes at the same time. And that is why he's called Akila Rasamrita Murti Prasimara Ruchi Rudha Tarakatari Kalita Shamalaito Radha Prayan Vidur Jaiti. Krishna is the embodiment of all rasa, because he's not like one type of person. He's every type of hero, even at the same time, to reciprocate with many different types of heroines. And Radhika and the Saki, in the madness of their separation, they're seeing this going on. And so then Radhika, she enters into the arena of the rasa. And Krishna sees Radhika and he becomes stunned. And then Radhika, she just gets in a huff and turns around and runs away and disappears into the forest. Why? Aheri vagati premna swabhava kutila bhavet. Ato hetur hetuscha yuno man udanchati. Rupa Goswami Pad said, the love between young couples moves in a crooked way like a snake. So just as a snake is sometimes straight and sometimes becomes all coiled up and then becomes straight again, so in relationship between young couples, they sometimes just suddenly become angry and upset and then become calm and then they're not upset again. And that's ahetu and hetu. That means sometimes it happens with a cause, and especially with Radhika, she can just become upset without a cause as well. Because her love is so, the vakrata, the crookedness of Prem, it is like that. Just like when water is very deep, what happens? Whirlpools. So when love is very deep, it begins to move in the opposite direction. Prem vivarta, the whirlpools of love. So sometimes Radhika will just become contrary, just for no reason. Because her love is so deep. That is called man. Prem, sneha, man. Prem, sneha, pranay, man. Rag, anurag. All these different developments of this taiba of Radhika, the foundational sentiment of Radhika's love for Krishna. So at this time, she left. Was it with a cause or without a cause? Yes, it was with a cause. Of course it was with a cause. Because Krishna started the Rasa Leela without her. And now she's arrived. He's not giving her any special attention. Actually, he was giving her special attention, because when he saw her, he became afraid. And he stopped dancing. But she did not give him a chance. It was too late. She was gone. So Radhika disappeared from there, and Krishna is searching for her and cannot find her. As Radhika is, so that was the song Chandana Charchita Neela Kaleva that we've just seen the dance we've described. And each, not all of the verses, but the main verses of that song were illustrated in the dance. Did you see the movements? When clapping with the hands and showing the bangles, all of these things. So each part of the song was illustrated by the abhinay. Abhinay means when you, through mudras and hand gestures, movements of the eyes, you actually present a drama, a story. That's called abhinay. So when Radhika left, she was walking through the forest and she sat down in one kunj. And she looked around. And as she was looking around, she remembered, I've been here before. I remember being in this kunj before. And I was here with Krishna. And it was so beautiful. He was laughing and joking with me. And she began to sing. Smarati mano mama Krita parihasam Harimiya Vito Vilasam. Hari has done vilas, his loving pastimes, in this place, Rase, during the Rasa Lila. Smarati manomam, my heart is now remembering him. Krita parihasam, the way that he was joking with me and the other gopis. Harim hiya vita vilasa. Here in this very kunj. And now, because the confidential meeting of Radha and Krishna, it should never be spoken. But Radhika now begins to describe what happened and her experiences in that kunj and in dancing nearby to her Saki. Now these things are never spoken, but in this song she describes and speaks these things. Why? It shows that her heart has become so unsteady, she's become so mad in separation from Krishna that she cannot control her feeling. And so she's speaking that which should not be spoken. Sancharad ahadar shuddha madhurya dwani Mukarita mohana pansam Chalita driganchala Chanchala muli Kapola vilola vatansam Rasi harim hiya Bhita vilasam Chandra kacharu mayura shikandaka mandala palayita vesham prachura purandara dhanuranjita medura mudira suvesham rase harim hiya Bhita vilasam Smarati mano mama Krito parihasam Harim hiya Bhita vilasam. Mahaprabhu said, sing it again! This is the line that Mahaprabhu said, and for hours and hours Swarup Damodar was singing Smarati mano mama Krito parihasam Harim hiya Bhita vilasam. And Mahaprabhu is sinking and sinking into Radhika's bhav at that time. So the question comes, what is the bhav of Radhika at that time? It's something astonishing. She's saying, Sanchad Adara Suddha Madhura Dhani. Sri Krishna took his flute and then his lips, which are very soft and reddish and full of nectar, he placed on the flute, and the nectar of his lips was transformed into dhvani, into sound, and began to spread everywhere. When the gopis hear the sound of Krishna's flute, it's as if Krishna is kissing them. Because the nectar of his lips has transformed into sound and is spreading everywhere. Oh, as he's playing, the peacock feather is trembling. And his earrings are dangling. At that time, he's so beautiful. When he approaches a gopi, then his face lights up with a smile and the moon illuminates his red, soft bimba fruit lips. And she begins to say many things. I will not explain everything. Gita Govinda is very confidential. It is not for the public, it is only in the Gambhira at night. With Rai Ramananda and Swarup Damodar. And she begins to describe so many pastimes. And then she says that, I remember that under this tree here, we arranged, I had a date with Krishna that we would meet under this tree. And Sri Krishna went there and he was waiting for me. He was waiting patiently for me. But he was worried. He was very worried because my Sakis had told me that he'd done some things that would not please me. So he was waiting and he was in big anxiety. He was in great anxiety. And then finally, when I arrived there, when I showed up, then he was speaking to me, like begging with sweet words. Nistura baba mridvi va pranas tonasi radike asti nanya chakorasya chandalekam binagati. Oh Radhika, Nistura baba, if you want to be cruel to me, be cruel to me. Mridviva, if you want to be kind to me, you can be kind to me. Pranas tamasi rad, but all I can say is, you are my pran. I cannot live without you. Just as the Chakora bird only lives by drinking the chandrikas, the moonbeams. So in the same way, your face is like the moon and I am like a chikora bird. I cannot live without seeing the glow of your face. So you can be cruel to me and reject me, or you can be kind to me as you like, but still, I have no shelter but you. And Radhika was remembering, oh, I remember. Krishna was standing under this tree, and when I came, he was speaking to me in a very loving way and trying to pacify my contrary mood. And Radhika said, oh, he's still there right now and speaking to me. So in her separation, in the separation, she was relishing those sweet times when Krishna was not dancing with other gopis, but he was approaching her and begging for her kindness, that she should give up her contrary mood and be kind to him. And she's relishing this. So this mood of Radhika is that Radhika is essentially saying to her Sakhi, oh Sakhi, I cannot help but love Krishna. Even though he was dancing with all the other gopis, he's my Pran. And whatever he does, it's pleasing to me. Why? Just because he does it. I'm not judging him. Loving this world is transactional. It's a business deal. It's not spontaneous and unbreakable praying. In this world, when someone says, I love you, they mean, I love you, but please read the small print, the terms and conditions on the bottom of the contract. I love you, but if you do this, then it's over. But Radhika is not like that. Purnamasi Devi described the love of Radhika. She said, Doshina kshayitam gunainu gurutam kenat pinatan vati premna aswarasikasya kasyatidayam vikridati prakriya. She said that the love of Radhika is such that if Krishna shows some great quality, her love doesn't increase. In this world, if you love someone and then you discover they have some great skill or talent that you never knew, oh wow, now I love them even more. So our love is index linked to the quality of the person, and if they get more qualities, then we love them more. Doshena Chaitanya means, and if we see a fault in someone, then the love for them goes down. But Purnamasi Devi is saying, Radhika's love is not like that. If she sees the quality in Krishna, her love does not go up. If she sees a fault in Krishna, the love does not go down. But rather this love has its own life, which is completely independent of what Krishna does or says or anything. This is unconditional praying. As Mahaprabhu expressed the mood of Radhika in the last verse of Shikshastakam, Aslishava padaratam pranashtumam Adarshanam mamahatam karotuva Yatha tatava vidadatu lampato Mat prananatastu sa eva napara. Aslishava, that means Krishna may, leaving all the other gopis, embrace me and make me feel like the most fortunate gopi in the whole universe. Padaratam pinashtumam, or he may crush me by abandoning me. Mama hatam karotuva, he may break my heart by not giving me his darshan. Yatha tatava vidadatu lam, as he likes he can do. He's lampat. Lampat means that hero who even enjoys with another heroine and his previous heroine sees. So he's lampat. It's very bad behavior. So Radhika said, he's lampat. So even if you enjoy with another gopi in front of my eyes, and that's what happened. When she arrived at the Rasalila, she saw Krishna everywhere, enjoying beautiful pastimes with so many gopis. So yata tatava vedadatu lampato, whatever he will do, mat prananatastu saeva napara, he is my pran, he is my life and soul, and there'll never be anyone else. So this is the mood when Radhika sat down in that kunj and began to remember her pastimes with Krishna there. Her love was just increasing and increasing and increasing. And she said, and essentially by this song, she's telling the Sakhi, it doesn't matter what Krishna does. I cannot stop loving him. It's not in my control. So this love is the Ujjvala Rasa, blazing, effulgent, spotless praying. And so when Mahaprabhu was wandering in that garden, Saurabh Damodar sang, Smrati mano mama krita parihasam Harim hiya bitarla. Sing it again, sing it again. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but now Krishna's finding out what it's like to be immersed in this love, which is so incredible that it's always increasing. Radhika's mood is whatever he does, I accept it just because it's him. He did it. He's the object of my love. Unconditionally. I can never see a fault in him. Even if he does something faulty, I see that fault as a quality. Something wonderful. So I can never see fault in him. How beautiful is this love? And Mahaprabhu realized it. He realized the mood of Radhika with the help of Swarup Damodar Goswami, with the help of the poetry of Gita Govinda, and therefore he shared it with us in the last verse of Shikshastakam, Aslishyava Pataratam Ganashtuma. So one should chant Harinam, remembering the verses of Shikshastakam, but that verse is in a very high stage of realization. So then after singing this line over and over again for hours, then Swarup Damodar Goswami saw that, oh, Mahaprabhu, he wants to relish, but he can become tired. They're very concerned because they have a lokik sadbandhavat, narabat bhav. But they have a love for him like a human being. So they think he'll get tired. If he gets tired, maybe he'll get sick. So then they made him lie down. Ramananda Rai, he made him lie down in the garden. Ramananda Rai was fanning him. And then after some time, they made Mahaprabhu take bath in, because he's like he's just under the control of Prem. Just as Radha and Krishna, actually all the pastimes of Vrindavan, they're not the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. They're the pastimes of the Sakhis. Why? Sakhi Pranaya Pranayita Vasha. One of the 25 qualities of Radhika is Sakhi Pranayita Vasha, that she's controlled by the love of her Sakhis. So it's the Sakhis who tell Radha and Krishna, they bring them together. They tell them when to dance, they tell them when to rest, they tell them when to get up. Durbai Sabha Shitilata Abhipuni Kelo Ai in Braj Bhasha. In the language of Braj, there's a song. Durbai Sabha Shitilata Abhipuni Kelo Ai. Oh, Radha and Krishna, now you have rested for long enough, your tiredness has gone away, again play. So Radha and Krishna are like puppets under the control of the love of their Sakhis. So in the same way, Janita Prema Vivasha. When Mahaprabhu saw the gardens on the bank of the ocean in Jagannath Puri, he became vivash, overwhelmed with prema. He was no longer in control. And so it was the Sakhis that is Swarup Damodar Goswami was making him relish rasa. Ramananda Rai made him lie down and take rest. And then the associates of Mahaprabhu made him get up and go to the ocean and take a bath. And then go back to the Gandhara and honor Jagannath Mahaprasada. So just see how, just as Radhika is controlled by the love of the Sakhis, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri is completely under the control of the love of his associates. So they are so great. And that's why our line is called Swarup Rupanuga. We are the followers of Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami is under the guidance of Swarup Damodar Goswami. So in this way, our beautiful Sri Krishna and Radhika, they combined together in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and showed us what is the life of Shuddha Bhakti. Is your life like this? Not quite. Okay, so now you know what is the life of Shuddha Bhakti. Try to make the adjustments. This is what Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means this. Sadhya means the goal of life. And sadhana is what you do to attain the goal of life. And a sadhu is sadnoti sadayati cha iti sadhu, the person who is perfect in his sadhana and who teaches others how to do sadhana. That means the person who refines and adjusts our life, that we perform sadhana so we can attain our sadhya, is a sadhu. And when we allow the sadhu to adjust and refine our life, then that is sadhu sangha. Only being close to a sadhu is not sadhu sangha. Mosquito is also sitting on the lap of a sadhu but just sucking blood. That is not sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is when we're with the sadhu, but we allow the sadhu to adjust and refine our life in such a way that we do actual real sadhana pointed towards our ultimate sadhya, our ultimate goal. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, they've shown this by their own example, so it can be clearly understood. Sri Sachinandan Gohari ki jai, Sri Jaidev Goswami ki jai, Gita Govinda ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai, Sri Navadimapu Dham ki jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Dhanasani Wali ki jai, Vrishabhanuraj Kumari Ju ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Gaurav Srimanand.
Sadhu, sadhu.
So try to be in Avesh. Avesh means absorbed. Absorbed in these things. Absorbed in Gaura Lila. You cannot go there into Radha Krishna Lila. But if you become absorbed in Gaura Lila, then Gauranga Mahaprabhu will transfer you to the Radha Krishna Lila.